Welcome to What is Life, Chapter 1. In Chapter 1, we're going to be talking about the scientific method or the scientific process, whatever you would like to call it. Basically, we're going to talk about how we think about science and how we do science. So we're going to talk a little bit about why science is important to your life, specifically biology, and then we're going to talk about how we do the scientific process, what it means to study something scientifically and to perform an experiment, and then how do we interpret those results that we get? What do we do with them? As I said, we're going to talk a little bit about why we need to learn about biology. We're going to define science and biology, which I'm thinking most of you are familiar with. And we'll talk about some experiments. So, in general, what is science? Well, science is really just the study of the world around you. So you are already a scientist, even if you don't plan on going into a scientific field, even if you don't consider yourself a scientist. But humans are curious. We're constantly making observations. We are constantly making hypotheses about things, and we're constantly doing things to see if we're right. So a really simple example, you turn on the light switch, the light doesn't come on. So you make an observation. My light didn't go on. You ask the question, why didn't my light go on? Then you check to see if it's plugged in, you check to see if the light bulb might be burned out, and you evaluate the situation based on these little mini tests that you do. So even though you are not necessarily specifically doing the scientific process all the time, you are actually doing it. You are observing the world around you, you're making observations, and you're trying to find out how the world works around you. And you're doing this with a lot of different questions. Some of them are really serious, really important questions. Does the radiation released by cell phones cause brain tumors? That's a really important question. That's maybe something that you might have heard about in passing or heard a news blurb about or something like that. So there are ways that you can go about answering these questions in a scientific manner so that you can really isolate your situation and sort of see what things are contributing to a particular phenomenon. They might be sort of silly questions. Why is morning breath so stinky? And can you do anything to prevent it? There's actually a biological answer to that. Even though it's kind of a silly question and your answer might be, well, because I didn't brush my teeth that last night. There actually is a biological reason for your breath being stinky, and that is bacteria in your mouth and your throat and things like that. So when we are talking about science, we are talking about a process as well as specific areas of study. So we are going to learn the process of science. There's sort of a formal definition of the process of science, but it's really this fluid way in which you can make observations, test things out, and answer your questions. So science is all about observation. It's about describing the world around you. It's about performing experiments, whether they are really thought out, well-designed experiments or just really quick little things that you do to test the answer to your question. But no matter what you're doing, you are attempting to explain the natural world around you. So you're making observations, you're describing things, you're experimenting, all with the purpose of describing the natural world. And by following this pathway, the scientific pathway or process, you can sort of methodically discover things about the world and better understand the world around you. So the term science is really kind of a big, broad umbrella that encompasses a lot of things. We are worried about the natural sciences in the biology department. So we, of course, are worried about biology, which is the study of living things, so the science of living things. And there are big branches within biology. And then there's also physical science. So physics, how things move, energy, light, things like that. And chemistry. What are things made up? How do they change? What reactions occur? And those two, physics and chemistry, have a big impact on how bodies work, how organisms interact with each other, interact with their environment. So those actually are really important to the field of biology. And then we have earth science, which is the study of our planet, other planets, study of rocks, the stars, things like that. So all of these together help to give you a better view of the world around you. And that understanding, this sort of observing and explaining the natural world and just having a general understanding of the world around you, is what we call scientific literacy. So scientific literacy is your ability to do the scientific method, to understand measurements, to understand how to observe and make interpretations, to understand how data is evaluated, in order to give you a basic understanding of the big scientific fields. So of course we are going to be focusing on biology, but scientific literacy, having a general understanding of a lot of the sciences, is really important in you being able to think scientifically and to use that knowledge in order to make wise decisions for you, for your family, for your future. So a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to be an artist. Not picking on artists, I promise. I'm going to be an artist, so I don't need to know about science. I don't need to know about biology. But really you do, because all aspects of your life are being impacted by science and by biology specifically. So even if you are not necessarily interested in it, you're not necessarily going into it, it is impacting your life. And so having a basic understanding of the different fields of science is really important. So we're going to be focusing on biology because we are introduction to biology. Which quite simply is the study of living things. It's the study of the molecules and the chemicals within our body and how they interact, how they are organized to make functional individuals, whether that be a human, a cat, a flower, a bacteria, whatever it is. All living things are made up of chemicals, different chemicals and different molecules, and they are governed by the laws of physics. So the other sciences definitely impact the study of biology. So we're going to look at some of these different fields of biology. So if you look there on the right, we have all of these different sort of categories of biology, and we won't touch all of these. Some of them we'll spend a lot of time on, some of them we won't even get to at all. But we are going to start at the cell. We're going to move into the study of genetics, what that means, what that is, why it's important to you. We're going to do a little bit of evolution. We're going to talk about the diversity of organisms on Earth. So we're going to talk about animals and plants and bacteria, and all of the different types of organisms that are living on Earth. And then we're going to talk about ecology, which is how organisms interact with each other in the environment and why the environment matters, why those interactions matter. So there's a lot of things that fall into the study of biology. All of those things are interrelated. So the chemicals that make up your body impact the food that you eat, which impacts the environment. So all of these different branches of biology are really related and really important to one another. So just like a general understanding of the sciences is important, a general understanding of biology is important as well. So biological literacy is really important. And I'm a biologist. It's probably going to be no surprise to you that I think that biology is the most important one. But I think there's a good argument for that. Your health comes back to biology. The global warming and the impact of our actions on the environment directly affect you every day. And so there are a lot of parts of biology that directly affect you every single day. And whether or not you've actually thought about it, you are bombarded by biological claims, biological quote unquote facts all day long. And so biological literacy, having a basic understanding of biology, is going to give you the ability to sort of process those things, to give you an idea about what it means when somebody says DNA sequencing. What does that mean to you? Why is it important? Why would I want to give my money to this company that can do that? Should I give my money to this company? Why is climate change important? What is actually going on? So all of those things are impacting your life, and you have to be able to make informed decisions about some of these things. And then having a basic understanding is going to give you the ability to communicate with others about those things. So maybe you want to have a conversation with your doctor, and you want to have a better understanding of what he's saying to you. And we're not getting too much into medical, but I'm hoping that we can give you a little bit of a foundation about how organisms work, how cells work, so that maybe that'll help you at some point make a better decision about being involved in your health decisions. So this basic understanding of biology that I'm hoping I'm going to give to you this semester should help you make informed decisions, make you aware of some of the real world issues that are affecting our planet, affecting our people.